take you along and just kind of show you what I'm cooking in the kitchen for my large family of 7. These are all from scratch meals, especially focusing in on dinners. So to start off with, I'm gonna do one that I grew up with, super easy, and is also great for a packed lunch, whether that's a school lunch or a picnic lunch or anything like that. We like these hot or cold, and so that's why it makes it super nice. To start off with, I'm gonna mix some cornmeal in my bowl. Now, I don't actually have enough cornmeal. I wanna make a bunch of this. I have quite a bit of turkey, cooked turkey in the fridge that I'm looking to use up, and so I will need to run to the store and get some more cornmeal, but I'm gonna start off with what I have. And to make this cornmeal dough, I am just going to mix cornmeal with a little bit of salt and then just enough warm water to make a nice soft dough. My very favorite to use for this is Maseca, but my local store does not have it, and so the cornmeal is a little bit more gritty, so not quite as ideal of a consistency. I like it to be super, super fine. I usually get in there with my hands and just kind of knead it around a little bit yet.
You need to wash your hands.
Yeah, I'll have to wash my hands then.
Actually smells like popcorn.
Oh, okay. Right, I think this is gonna work. I definitely prefer using Maseca. It's just so fine that it sticks better. This is what you wanna do. So you wanna be able to shape it into a nice ball and that it kind of holds itself together. So we're gonna make about this size balls, but before we do that, I'm gonna actually transition over and get my filling going. We're gonna chop up some onions to fry and mix with it, just adds really good flavor, and then I'll show you what I do from there. Peel. Okay, while the onions cook over there, I'm actually gonna take my turkey and I just wanna chop it a little bit finer because I don't really want big pieces of turkey breast in there for this. There's so many ways that you could season this and they would all be delicious, I'm sure. But what I like to do is add some salt. I think I'll add some pepper and then paprika, garlic powder, and then I actually put in ketchup, mustard, sometimes homemade mayo or sour cream if I have, as well as relish. It probably doesn't sound that great just hearing it, but the flavor ends up being so delicious and they're not super dry. So like I said, a great on-the-go meal as well, or even just out on a picnic. But these don't last long at our house and they do freeze well also. Oh, and I forgot the cheese. We definitely like to add a good bit of cheese as well. So I'm gonna add some shredded mozzarella cheese to this. Okay, got my jars of homemade salsa, homemade ketchup, and we'll add a bunch of both of those.
Ew.
So I need to get my oil ready here. We will be deep frying them. They look like hand pies, kind of. So I like to use either avocado oil or today I'm using coconut oil. Can also use lard or whatever oil option that you prefer. I pulled out my tortilla press. Now I do not plug it in for corn tortillas like this. I just have it cold. I'm gonna put some parchment paper on and then we're ready to press our balls. like that. And then we're gonna put our filling in here and then press the sides together and fry them. Okay, I think we're gonna shift plans here just a little bit. Was wondering all along how these would actually turn out, and with just the regular cornmeal being so coarse, they are not holding together well. I don't know if I can even lift up one to show you. We're getting a lot of cracking in them, which will then leak into the oil and they just become a mess. I have some corn tortillas in the freezer. I'm just gonna pull those out and we'll do tacos today for lunch instead. If you would still like to do these taco pops at home, I promise, with Maseca, you get beautiful, they look like hand pies. We like to serve them with ketchup, hot or cold, but I'm gonna have to do mine a different time. I'll see if I can get some Maseca here in the next couple of days and still finish it off. But this mixture will also be delicious with just fresh tacos. I just won't be able to freeze them. For my next recipe here, I want to pull out some things from my box from Thrive. They are sponsoring today's video, and the recipe that I'm about to show you is one of our favorites for the summer, and it's supposed to be 80 degrees today, so I thought that's the perfect time to pull out this recipe again. It is a family favorite for sure. But if you are new to Thrive, basically they're an online grocery store that makes grocery shopping so simple, especially for moms at home, and especially if you are focused on healthier options for your family. They make that really easy. You can actually sort things on the website by preferences. So if you're keto diet or if you're dairy free, I have a number of friends whose kids are dairy intolerant, and so great place to shop for that. You can go grain-free. There are so many ways that you can kind of categorize it, making it super quick and simple. In this box, I ordered a couple bags of these potato chips. Now, we do not usually eat a lot of potato chips in our home because of the seed oils in them. However, these are made with avocado oil, making them the perfect option for things like grilling out, because that's definitely on my mind a lot these days. As the days get warmer, we want to eat outside. Having some of those great options for that is so nice. And then I also got another little jar of the Himalayan pink salt. Really like this for salt. My doctor actually says that Himalayan salt has the most minerals in it. Another thing that is super nice about shopping on Thrive is that you can actually, they have a buy it again button. That way, if you want to buy things on repeat, which for me, I do, it makes it super handy. The next thing here is some organic apple cider vinegar. I love how many organic non-GMO options there are, because that is very aligned with how we eat in our home. I got a bag of these organic chocolate chunks. These are sweetened with coconut sugar, so I like to put these in our granola. And then the star of the show for what we actually want to use in our recipe today is this pasta. This is sourdough pasta. I have bought it before and we just really like it. It does have a little bit of a sourdough flavor, I would say. It is not strong, but it is so delicious and feels so good in the stomach. I also picked up a little bit of matcha. I thought Josh might enjoy that. I don't really do caffeine, but I thought that would be a fun one for him because he likes that kind of thing. And then finally, I also picked up a bag of sea salt flakes. I love putting these on chocolate chip cookies. I am so excited to put all of this to good use, especially as we think of more summer-focused meals here. Anyway, so we'll get to cooking this pasta, but if you would like to give Thrive Market a try, they did give me a discount code for you. You can just follow the link thrivemarket.com/thisgoldenhour, and I'll leave that for you on the screen here as well as in the description box below. That will give you 30% off of your first order as well as a free gift up to $60. So I hope that helps you out. A huge thank you to Thrive for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now let's get some water boiling for this pasta. While our pasta cooks, let's start slicing and dicing some things. So we are making a pasta salad. This is one of our very favorites for the summertime. It is so delicious and I love how versatile it is. So really just any protein you have on hand, cold cuts especially are my favorite for this. And then veggies, it's all so versatile. I like to make this in the morning or even a day ahead because if you allow all those flavors to meld, it just makes it all the tastier. This dish to me tastes like summer. For our dressing, and I would highly recommend doing this homemade. In my opinion, homemade dressings are just always so much more delicious, but especially this one. This is an Italian dressing. It is from the blog Love and Lemons, and I will try to remember to link it down below. I am using avocado oil instead of olive, but if you have a good olive oil, that would also be delicious for this one. So we'll mix this together now, and I better stop talking so I can actually count properly. Look how pretty this looks right now. All of those colors, does that not just look like a good summer dish? I have just been craving all the fresh produce, so this is gonna be a real treat. And then we'll grab a spoon to stir it in. Should have probably got a bit of a bigger bowl here. Okay, all we have left to do is taste test, my personal favorite part, and see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Now, one thing I did think of is Parmesan. Wait, I have Parmesan. I forgot. In my basement, hang on. Let me go grab that. Josh built me a bunch of shelves in the basement, and so we have, I call it my little grocery store down there, stocking up on things when I find them for a good price, and I have Parmesan, so I'm so excited. I love Parmesan in this. I usually put in a good bit. The dressing recipe actually also says that's optional to add Parmesan to the dressing itself. So we're gonna mix that in, and then we're ready to taste test. That's yummy. Okay, wow, that's ridiculously good. I feel like just dishing out a bowl right now and eating it now, but we're gonna refrain and put this in the fridge so that it can just really kind of marinate all those flavors together for a couple hours until dinner time. It's actually 2 days later now. I think I picked a bit of a bad week to be filming all these dinners because it's just a super busy week here on the farm, but I hope that gives you some just practical ideas for easy weeknight dinners, and today is no exception. We actually have plans this afternoon, so I think what I'm gonna do is I have some soup bones in the freezer, so I'm gonna pull those out, have them cooking all day, and then we'll do soup. And then I also wanna mix up some bread. So this is not a sourdough bread recipe. I actually baked a loaf of sourdough yesterday, but it is already pretty much completely gone. So I'm gonna just do a yeast bread this morning using fresh milled. And this recipe is adapted from Heidi Marie's white bread recipe on Instagram. So I will have her account linked down below, but I'll also type out the recipe the way that I do it. Okay, got our flour done. We're gonna add a half cup of potato flakes to our bowl, along with 3/4 cup raw honey, about a tablespoon of salt, and then 3 tablespoons of yeast, a half a cup avocado oil, and 4 cups of warm water. And then we'll just mix that together and let it set for about 10 minutes or until the yeast blooms. While my yeast rises, I'm gonna work on my soup bones here. So we're just gonna put these right in my Instant Pot, and then I think I'll put some onions on here, maybe some herbs, and fill it with water, and then it can cook away.
You guys think this
My timer just went for the yeast here, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in about 10 cups of flour. I do kind of go by how it looks and feels as to if it needs more flour when I'm doing fresh milled, but I would say 10-ish, and then just look how the dough feels. And we're gonna let this mix then for about 8 minutes so you get that good like elasticity. All right, I'm going to transfer it to a bigger bowl here so that it can rise. Now, the fresh milled does not rise as much as when you use all-purpose, but it does taste a lot better in my opinion. So we're going to put that in here now. I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and then we'll let this rise for about an hour, hour and a half, something like that. It's an hour later now, so we are gonna put our dough in the pans. I greased my pans, and I'm gonna divide this into 3 loaves. Yeah, I would think so. What? Up to the attic. Those are for Grandma and Grandpa. One of them is the biggest room would have the most. Okay, couldn't help myself. I had to go out there and grab a little more of the lilacs. They are blooming so beautifully right now, and they are starting to go. There's a little bit of brown tips on a couple of these, but I paired it with some privet, which is actually growing right next, which is super fun. But just look at that. I wish I could somehow let you smell these through the screen because they smell so good. But we're gonna pop these in some water, and then I think we'll go ahead and peel some potatoes and carrots to put in a bowl of cold water, and we'll let those sit. That way I can just throw it in once we're ready to actually make the soup, and it should be really quick to the table then. A little bit of a hot mess express. We have been weeding outside. It is nearly 85 degrees, which is so beautiful, but it's pretty warm. We're not used to this yet. Anyways, I thought it would be fun to come in here and mix a rhubarb crisp, and we'll have it with some vanilla ice cream. It would be the perfect like afternoon little treat after all that weeding. At the barn, so I went outside and brought them their rhubarb dessert there, and we were having a good time hanging out there, and the kids were like, "What's for dinner tonight?" And I had just been going blank all day today, I feel like. So by the way, if you have favorite dinner recipes, especially quick and easy, please leave those down in the comments below. I would be so grateful. I love going through and reading your ideas. Sometimes when I'm in a rut, that's just super helpful. But anyways, so I asked the kids, what are you guys hungry for dinner? Because often they have great ideas and kind of helps get my brain rolling again. And one of the first requests was pasta. They love homemade pasta. I haven't made it in quite some time now, but I was like, I don't think I can do that. We have like an hour to dinner. But I was thinking about it and decided, you know what? We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna do super simple. I quickly pulled out some meat. I have that thawing. So I think we'll just do spaghetti night. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were inspired, maybe gained some ideas for your kitchen this week. Don't forget to check out Thrive, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friends.
Golden, golden thing.